A friend who was a student at Prescott told me about Prescott. So he said, come to the next colloquium, which is the gathering we have at Prescott for the master's program, and check it out. So I did, and immediately I felt that I had come home. At that point, I had been an activist for almost a decade and couldn't even list one thing that I'd accomplished with thousands and thousands of hours of work. And I was very angry and sad and frustrated. And my husband had said, there's got to be a better way, Christina. So I got my master's degree working with Tom Fleischner here, who was one of the people who developed the environmental studies program. While I was finishing that degree, I got offered a book contract for publication of my master's thesis, which was called The Wolf's Tooth. And my thesis was about how wolves, why they're a keystone species, and why we've decided to conserve them. So the backdrop is that living in our remote part of Montana, there weren't supposed to be any wolves, and then they started showing up and denning near our property. And natural resources, people like the Forest Service wouldn't believe me. We used to have deer and elk standing around like lawn ornaments in a big meadow on our land, and we lived in a little log cabin there, right, on the side of a mountain. And then wolves came back. We saw them hunting on our land. I was working in our yard with my daughters when these wolves exploded out of the forest, and they were chasing a deer, and they all ran right next to us, so we got to witness all this drama. And within 4 years, our meadow ceased to exist because the deer and elk that had been keeping it a meadow by mowing down any trees and shrubs that were sprouting could no longer stand around eating like that, or they'd get nailed by a wolf. And then we saw endangered songbirds coming back, species we'd never seen before. We killed wolves to the point of virtual extinction. And then what caused us to have a change of heart? And it's a profound story because it's what's happening with all of our relationship with the natural world. Has gone from us wanting to rule everything and destroy everything to us opening our hearts to it. And that certainly is part of Prescott's mission, is fostering that change. It's a social change.